Hey everybody, welcome back to the AWI review. So, as you can see, I've completed the kit now, and we'll do a quick review of the model. I'll give you some feedback on assembly, and we'll talk, we'll talk some other basic things here in a few minutes. So, overall, kit was very easy to assemble. The easiest Sherman kit I've ever put together. I've put together a ton of Warlord Games kits from Metallurgy, and I put together Rubicon's earlier M4 Shermans, which you might have seen on this channel at some point. But this is the new one, and it's phenomenal. The chassis and the hull are single, well, not single pieces. The hull is single piece, but the chassis underneath, just like the earlier kits, two halves. Come together real nice, make a really great bond, no warping at all, no problems with the plastic. The only part that you'll notice that's not from the kit is the tank commander figure, which is from Warlord Games US Tank Crew. I just put it on there to give it some character. I actually regretted it after I glued it on, because the cupola is so wide you can actually look in there and see the lower half isn't complete, so I'm gonna have to use some green stuff to clean it up. But that's my problem, not yours. So basically what we have here is a phenomenal kit. Highly recommend this kit. A couple of things about the assembly. You're going to make sure that you really read the instruction booklet. I know I said this a lot in the unboxing video, but I'm telling you right now, actually having your hands on the kit, going through every sprue, a lot of it looks alike. And if you're not careful and detail-oriented, I guarantee you're going to pick up the wrong piece and glue it together, and you're going to hit yourself in about 5 minutes after that glue sets. So just absolutely read the instruction booklet. Make sure that you are really careful about picking out the parts that you need for the variant that you want, and I really stress that, because there were times when I had to double check myself to make sure that I had the right piece for the EZ8, and that I wasn't grabbing the wrong one, because some parts are on one sprue and there's 4 different sprues. And the other parts are scattered out throughout those 4 sprues. So you're going to be picking up sprues left and right, like, is this the right one? Is this the right one? Comparing them, looking at the instruction booklet, putting stuff down, picking up the wrong one. I guarantee you it's going to happen at least once. So just absolutely make sure that you're reading that booklet. Second thing is, make sure you get the right glue, because this is not use your regular tester's glue. You're going to have to get a glue that's like your gel glue. Don't use that. You want to use a glue from, I would use this one. This is the one that I use to assemble this. And this is the Model Master Liquid Cement for plastic models. The reason why this is good is it works specifically for ABS plastics. So it's a little stronger than your other glues. This is a heavier plastic. It's not like your Warlord Games light gray plastic. This is a darker plastic. It's heavier. You're going to need a stronger glue. It's just the way it works. Also, some parts of the assembly, I used my Gorilla Super Glue. The reason why is I really wanted it to be a strong, tight bond instantaneously. I didn't want to wait for it to set. So, for example, on the chassis, actually every part of the hull, I super glued, because I wanted this to be a nice secure fit. I didn't want there to be any problems later on. I also super glued the fiddly bits that I knew have come off in the past with regular plastic glue, like the 50 cal. I super glued that together. All of the lights on front of the tank, I use super glue for those, because with regular plastic glue they can snap. I just really wanted this to be a nice secure build. I didn't want there to be any issues going forward. So with that said, I do have one suggestion for Rubicon Models. They can take this or leave this. Obviously, I'm no expert in sprue construction, but it would be really helpful in the future if they had like a separate sprue for all of the standard interchangeable parts, like the stuff that can be used on any of the variants that are included in the kit, and then a sprue separately for each of the variants, as opposed to having the parts all over the place on 4 different sprues, because that was not only a pain in the butt to assemble, but I guarantee you they're going to have cases where someone's going to complain to them that they didn't read the instruction book all the way through, and they grabbed the part that they thought was correct, assembled it, and it messed up their whole model. And I know that's probably not anyone watching this video, wink wink, but I guarantee you there are people out there that are going to do this, and they're going to be sorry, and Rubicon is going to have to, because their customer service is great, they're going to end up having to send them a new kit, because for whatever reason they, whatever excuse the person's going to give them. So I'm just looking out for everyone right now. Rubicon, in the future with your kits, I know you got a lot of stuff coming out soon, but when you're designing your sprues, if you could really consider doing that, maybe add extra stowage to that standard, interchangeable sprue kit, so that there's no problems. But I had like the top of the hull was on one sprue, and then the fenders were on another sprue, and then these were on different sprue, and the bottom part was on another sprue, and it's like, and then the turrets were on their own sprue, but some parts of the turret weren't on their own, so like when you're assembling this and you're trying to make it look right, you're pulling most of this set from like the E sprue, for example, but like some of the parts for the EZ8 are not just on the E sprue, they're also on the A sprue and the D sprue, and it's like all of a sudden you're like you have to handle like 4 different sprues when all you want to do is make one variant of the tank. So in my humble opinion, and I don't know what I'm talking about, because like I said, I don't design sprues for a living, but for the person out there that is doing that in marketing or whatever, product design, it'd be nice if they took that into consideration from a modeler's perspective, not necessarily a sales one. And you've already got 4 sprues in the box. You could do a different box and then make 3 sprues, cut one out completely, just have one sprue be a standardized sprue and the other 2 be for either of the variants, and then you're set. You don't have to worry about it. And then maybe if you really have to do 4 sprues, then you could have extra stowage in there or something like that, just to make it more useful for people like me who wouldn't mind having that. So a couple of final thoughts. The turret does move, and the barrel does elevate. I chose not to have it elevate, so I put it in a static position, which actually, incidentally, I should have waited to do until after I had assembled the tank completely. But just because now it's kind of pointed in a downward direction, it's not necessarily parallel to the ground. Or perpendicular, no, it's parallel to the ground. So it's not parallel to the ground, and it should be. It's like just slightly at a downward slope, which I guess is fine, but in the next video, we're going to look at how to make these unique, give them personality, character, etc., by adding stowage and other bits that I think you'll find interesting, hopefully. I've done it with a couple of my tanks already, and I'm looking forward to kind of decking this out. That's why this looks so plain right now. I didn't add any of the stowage yet, because I want to do that in a video. So anyway, guys, that's it for this review of the Sherman kit, and we'll be back in a bit.